Hello students, let's get back to our social studies lectures. Today we are going to start chapter 17, Natural Vegetation. Let's see now what is this natural vegetation and what are we going to study in this. Now in this chapter we are going to see some of the 4 marks questions. So therefore please pay attention. Vegetation is an important part of human life. It is difficult to imagine life without vegetation. Its importance has been accepted by our ancient scriptures by modern science. So students, first and foremost, vegetation is an important part of human life. We all know most of our Indian people, many of our people are vegetarian. And so students, we know how important it is for us to have vegetation as a part of our life. Without vegetables, we cannot imagine a life. It is difficult to imagine life without vegetation, and its importance has been accepted by our ancient scriptures and by modern science. So why is vegetation important? How the vegetables or vegetation is important for the human life has been given, its importance has been accepted by the ancient scriptures as well as the modern science. India has a large diversity of natural vegetation. In terms of vegetation diversity, India holds 10th position in the world and 4th in Asia. So students, when we are talking about vegetation, it's not that the vegetables that we are having in food we are going to see, but otherwise also the different trees, the forest and so on, we are going to study about all that. And so India has a large diversity of natural vegetation, and in terms of vegetation diversity, India holds 10th position in the world. So India ranks 10th in the world wise, otherwise the 4th in Asia. A forest is a group of trees, and those trees which grow in natural condition without human help are called forests. So students, as I told you, in this natural vegetations, we are not only going to study about what the vegetables are, but we are going to study about the forest, about the different trees and so on. And so what they are telling us over here is that a forest, what is a forest? Forest is nothing. You are asking the 1 marks the question. For the 1 mark, you are asked the question is that, write about forest, or what is the definition of the forest? What do you understand by forest? And so what is forest? A forest is a group of trees, and those trees which grow in natural condition without human help are called forests. You plant the trees. Mango tree, if you want to plant a mango sapling, you will have to buy a sapling and then plant it. Or any other fruits, you will plant it. Whereas in the forest, it grows. You do not give the special care. And so what it is said, a forest is a group of trees, and those trees which grow in natural conditions, as per the whatever the nature of the tree is, of the conducive atmosphere, the climate and all over there, it just grows without human help are called forests. Make a bracket to this sentence, students. Also make a bracket and underline this. India has a diversity of natural vegetation, but make a bracket from here. In terms of vegetation diversity, India holds 10th position, underline that, in the world and the 4th in Asia. So students, you are now clear about what is forest, and in the natural vegetation, where does India stand? Now, let's study about natural vegetation. The diversity in natural vegetation of India is created due to the following reasons. Now, the diversity. Why do you see this difference, the variation and all in the natural vegetation in India is created due to the following reasons. How we get it a variety over here is because of, first, relief features, second, the soil, third is the temperature, fourth is the insolation, that is sunshine, and the fifth is rainfall. 6 is the humidity. These are all six reasons due to which we get this natural diversity in vegetation. What is the, students? Remember these points. First is relief features. Now what is that relief features? We'll be seeing over here. Soil, of course you know that we have already studied the different type of soil, and so black soil, alluvial soil, and desert soil, and so on. And so student, the type of soil helps the vegetation to grow. The temperature, if the temperature is very hot, very cold, humid, rainfall is more, what type of trees can be grown in that area? Insolation, that is the sunshine, the amount of sunshine you get over there, the rainfall, of course, as we talked about, and the humidity. Okay, so let's see. Now, due to diversified relief like mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, etc., a diverse pattern in vegetation is seen in India. So, due to the diversified relief, now what is that relief feature, students? Relief features we have studied even in the chapter 13. Okay, so due to the diversified relief like mountains, underline, plateaus, plains, deserts, etc., a diverse pattern in vegetation is seen in India. There are different soils. As I was telling you, the different types of soils, and we have alluvial, black, mountain, desert type, etc. in India. So we have studied 6 or 7 types of soil in our chapter 15, I think. 15 or 16 you have studied about it. And so students, I think it was chapter 16 where we studied, but whatever it is, whether 15, 13, 14, whichever chapter it is, but we have studied about the types of soil. And so students, as per the relief of the features, that is the mountain, desert, plateau, plains, we also saw the types of soil, and the soil is alluvial, black, mountainous, or desert type of soil. Also importance, it also has an importance for the vegetation to grow in variation. This variation in soils also creates differences in vegetation. The difference in temperature and humidity in cold Himalayan regions and in southern peninsular region also bring variations in vegetation. Students, of course you know the types of trees you get to see in Himalayas are different than the type of trees you get to see in the peninsular plateau. Isn't it, students? The temperature varies. The temperature varies, and so therefore the vegetation also varies. And so students, what they are saying is that the difference in temperature and humidity in cold Himalayan regions and in southern peninsular region also bring variation in vegetation. The insolation over any place depends on its latitude and altitude. Students, latitude, altitude, again we have studied in chapter 13, 14, we have studied about the physical features of the India, the location where does it stand and all. And so therefore, you know the amount of sun rays that fall in the particular states. And so therefore, insolation over any place depends on its latitude and altitude. Now you know the latitudinal lines and the longitudinal lines. Okay. Vegetation grows faster where there is more rain and insolation. Of course, where there is more rain, the soil seems to be good, fertile, and so if there is also good sunshine and all, you will naturally get the good vegetation over there in that area. Thus, there is a diversity in vegetation due to sunshine. Rainfall distribution in India is also unequal, which in turn causes diversity in vegetation. So students, you know we have studied in the chapter 16, that is climate. The rainfall distribution in India is also unequal. It is not equal. The amount of rain you get it in Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, you do not get in Gujarat, Rajasthan. It differs. Or the amount of rain that you get it in Kerala, you do not get that much rain in Northeast. So in India, we have unequal distribution of the rain. And so therefore, there is a diversity vegetation. So students, you are asked a question for 2 marks. Suppose you are asked to write about the diversification of vegetation, then you will have to write these points. How is the diversification seen, or how there is a diversity in natural vegetation? First and foremost, 6 reasons why there is a diversity. And these 6 reasons, 6 points, if you know, relief features, soil temperature, insolation, rainfall and humidity, you will be able to form your answer. Isn't it easy, students? So, we studied about natural vegetation, but there's something more. There are about 5,000 varieties of trees in India. Underline that there are about 5,000 varieties of, there are 5,000 different types of trees in India, and out of which 450 trees are useful commercially. Commercially, for the sake of business and industries and all, there have been 450 trees which have been used. Besides these, about 15,000 flowering plants also grow, which form about 6% of the world. Underline that. Students will have to underline the number 5,000 as well as 15,000, which makes up to 6% of the world. 450 trees are useful. Commercially, they have been used. Non-flowering plants like fern, algae, moss, etc. are also available in our country. Underline the names of the trees: fern, algae and moss. India is famous since ancient times for the herbal plants. About 2,000 medicinal plants are described in Ayurveda. About 2,000 medicinal plants are described in Ayurveda. Underline 2,000. Thus, it can be said that India has a diversity in vegetation. So, the question could be, why has India a diversity in vegetation? Explain. Or write in short about diversity in natural vegetation of India. The answer will remain same as the 6 points. Explain them, and the types of trees we get it over here. About from there, how many are about just the varieties we have and use commercially, which are the, or how many trees are flowering trees, that is the number is given there, 15,000. So this answer is clear to you, students. We will do one more question, and that is about the types of natural vegetation, and after that I will stop the class. So students, what are the types of natural vegetation? We studied today about the vegetation. What is the first and foremost? One more question about the forest. Then we saw about the vegetation, diversity in vegetation. And now we are going to see again 4-mark question is about types of natural vegetation. Existence and growth of any vegetation depends on the climate of the region. In the regions of identical climate, the vegetation seen is mostly identical. Regions of such ecological similarities are called natural vegetation regions. So students, what is that? Existence and the growth of any vegetation depends on the climate. As we saw it in the diversity, humidity, also the cold weather, the rain, that also plays the role. And so therefore, existence and growth of any vegetation depends on the climate of the region. And in the regions of identical climate, where there is the same type of climate over there, the same type of vegetation is seen. Same type of trees have been grown over there. And so regions of such ecological similarities are called natural vegetation regions. Make a bracket. So you are asked the question for the 1 mark, and that is, write, or what do you understand by the natural vegetation regions? What will you write? The regions where there are the identical climate, the vegetation seen is mostly identical. Such regions where the ecological similarities are seen are called as the natural vegetation regions. On the basis of altitude, soils, rainfall and differential temperature, The natural vegetation regions can be divided into 5 types. So students, as we saw about the altitude, soil, rainfall, okay, the physical features and all which we saw, on the base of that, the natural vegetation can be divided into 5 types. And which are they? First is the tropical rainforest. Second, tropical deciduous forest. Third, tropical desert vegetation. Fourth, temperate forest and grasslands. And the fifth is the mangrove or the tidal forest. Students, go through all these 5 names. Take 1 minute. Look at the names of the forest. It is asked in the exams. You will have to explain in the exam for 4 marks. Now that you have seen these 5 names, tropical rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical desert vegetation, temperate forest and grasslands, and the fifth is a mangrove tidal forest. So students, these are the 5 types of forests. Let's see now about them. Now, just like in the earlier lessons also you have seen, if the 4-mark question which we saw in the last chapter where we saw about the India's relationship with the neighboring countries, you can be asked about India's relationship with Bangladesh and Sri Lanka for 3 marks, or you can be asked for 4 marks. You will have to write about all this. Similarly, over here also you may be asked for 4 marks, then you have to write about all these 5 types of forest. But if you are asked for the 2 marks and they have given you to write about, specifically they have mentioned, write about the tropical rainforest. What you will have to write? Whatever is asked over here, it can be just 1 point can be for 2 marks. If 2 points are asked, they can ask you for 3 marks. But if all the 5 points, then it will be for 4 marks. Remember these students. And now let's go ahead. The tropical rainforests, how they have been distributed, the distribution. Tropical rainforests are found in hot and humid regions. Underline that. These tropical rainforests, where are the students found? They have been found in hot and humid regions. The places where there is a humid temperature, okay, there is a lot of humidity as well as the temperature is very hot, where annual rainfall exceeds 200 centimeter and temperature is more than 22 Celsius degree. And so students, over here what happens? The region is hot and humid and the rainfall exceeds sometimes more than 200 centimeter and also temperature is 22. And so the such forests are found in area, this forest, that is the tropical rainforest, are found in the area of heavy rainfall of Western Ghats, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar Islands, upper regions of Assam, coastal Tamil Nadu. So students, make a bracket. You will have to, suppose in the 1 mark the question is asked, in which places do you find the tropical rainforests? What will your answer be, students? Such forests are found in the area of heavy rainfall such as Western Ghats, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar Islands, upper region of Assam and coastal Tamil Nadu. So students, that is a distribution. Now, which trees have been found? Which trees do grow in the tropical rainforest? And there are trees found here are mahogany, ebony, rosewood and rubber. These are the 4 names mentioned over here: mahogany, ebony, rosewood and rubber. Now, what are the characteristics of these trees? Which trees? The trees which have been grown into the tropical rainforest. Now, the characteristics are, trees here are about 60 meters tall or even more. There is more humidity due to scrubs. There is no season here like autumn. As these trees are evergreen, the forests are also called evergreen forests. So students, the tropical rainforest also has got another name. And what is the another name? The evergreen forest. Why are they called evergreen forests? because in the tropical rainforest region, where the area or these rainforests have been distributed into the different regions, there is no season like autumn, and the trees are always evergreen, and so therefore these forests are called evergreen forests. There is no season where the leaves or where the trees shed their leaves and become dry. Since this is not found over here in the Western Ghats, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar Islands, upper regions of Assam and coastal Tamil Nadu, this tropical rainforest also is called as the evergreen forest. So 2 marks question is over. If you are asked to write the names of the tropical, which trees have been grown in the tropical rainforest, trees are mahogany, ebony, rosewood and rubber. So this question is done, students. Now let's go to the second. But now we were studying about the tropical rainforest. Now see the map over here on the next page. Can you see the map? See. In the index, over here is the index. This is the index where you see how well they have shown the symbols. Dark green, light green, olive color, again little different. So the colors they have divided to show the colors they have given, and by this dark, light green and all, they have divided the tropical, different forests. Okay, so tropical evergreen forests which we saw over here. See the color. How is the color? Where have they been grown? In the Western Ghats and all we studied. See the color you can make out. Also coastal of Tamil Nadu, Assam, upper region of Assam. So you got, students? Now tropical deciduous forest. See tropical deciduous forest. That was about the evergreen forest, which is another name for that, tropical rainforest. Now here the map you have seen. See students, we were talking about the Lakshadweep, Andaman, Nicobar. See these islands, the type of forest you get to see. Look at this color. It becomes very easy for the examiner to give you the marks in the map. Now let's see the tropical deciduous forests. How have they been distributed? Which trees are found in the tropical deciduous forest? And what are the characteristics? Now the distribution. Generally such forests are found in the regions receiving about 70 to 200 centimeter rainfall. Underline. So how much is the rainfall received over here? 70 to 200 centimeter. And such forests are found where? Students, underline, northeastern states, Himalayan foothills, western Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, eastern slopes of Eastern Ghats, Vindhya and Satpura ranges. There is a large proportion of this forest in India. There is a large proportion of this forest. Which forest, students? Deciduous forest. And where have they been found, students? They have been found in northeastern states, Himalayas foothills, western Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, eastern slopes of Eastern Ghats, Vindhya and Satpura ranges, and this is the large proportion of this forest. How much rainfall they receive? 70 to 200 centimeter. Now which trees have been found, students? Major trees found here are teak, sal, sesame, sandalwood, kher, that is acacia catechu, bamboo, etc. Which are the trees, students? Trees found over here are teak, sal, sesame, sandalwood, kher, which is known as acacia catechu, and bamboo. Now what are the characteristics of this tropical deciduous forest? The characteristic is that the major characteristics of trees here is that the trees shed their leaves for 6 to 8 weeks during autumn. When we saw the evergreen forest, we saw that the trees do not shed their leaves. Therefore, they are called as the evergreen. And which trees were there over there, students? We saw mahogany, ebony and all. Over here, the names of the trees are teak, sal, sesame, sandalwood, care and bamboo. What happens? They shed their leaves for 6 to 8 weeks, underline, during autumn. So which season? During autumn, they shed their leaves for 6 to 8 weeks. Every species has a different time to shed the leaves. So all the trees are never without leaves during any particular season. So students, it's not that in the autumn all the trees will shed their leaves all together. No. Even nature has its own way. How? They shed their leaves at their different time. And every species has a different time to shed the leaves. They do not shed their leaves all together in a particular season. As these trees shed their leaves according to seasons, these are called monsoon forests. So, for the deciduous forest, another name is monsoon forest. For the tropical rainforest, what was the another name? Evergreen forest. But for the tropical deciduous forest, another name is monsoon forest. So, we studied about the characteristics, and the characteristic is that they shed their leaves for 6 to 8 weeks. Every species has a different time. They do not shed their leaves altogether, and so therefore never a tree has been left without leaves. These trees shed their leaves according to season. Now see the tropical desert vegetation. Again students, these are also either, if it is asked only to write about tropical desert vegetation, 2 marks, otherwise 4 marks or 3 marks, depends in which way it is asked. Now, how is the tropical desert vegetation distributed? Generally, such forests are found in the regions receiving less than 70 centimeter rainfall. These are found in northwestern region, that is Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, etc. Underline. Students were into our regions, and which are these northwestern regions like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. And what trees grow over here? The trees like dates, jujube, acacia, cactus, khijdo, etc. are common trees found here. Into which forest? Tropical desert forest. And where are the tropical desert forests grown? In the northwestern regions, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. What are the characteristics? The roots of the trees and plants here are long, deep and widespread, underline, long, deep and widespread. Leaves are shorter, which result in slower evapotranspiration process. So students, how is the growth? The trees and the plants over here are long and deep and widespread. Leaves are shorter, which results in the slower evapotranspiration process. So this question also is done about the tropical desert forest. Like the evergreen forest and the monsoon forest, this tropical desert forest does not have another name. Only one name has been given. The trees grows over here are the dates, jujube, acacia, cactus, khijdo. Now let's go to the fourth one, temperate forests and grasslands in Himalayan vegetation. Look over here, students, they have given a table where they have mentioned about the height of the trees, the aerial span, the forest and the trees, which trees grow over there. So in the vegetation of Himalayas over there, the high mountains of northeast, West Bengal and mountainous area of Uttarakhand, where the tropical forests are, the trees found over here are oak and chestnut, whereas the height is more, that is 1500 to 3000 meter. The southern slopes of Himalaya higher area of south and northeast. Which forests have been found, students? Coniferous. And which trees grow over there? Pine, sal, silver, fir and spruce. And spurs or spruce. So the height, where there is a height, is 1500 to 3000 meter. Which forests have been found, students? Coniferous forest. And which trees grow over there? Pine, sal, silver, fir and spruce. Then, where the height is 3600 meter and more, higher altitude in Himalayas and near snow line. Which forests are there? Alpine and short grass, tundra vegetation. And which trees have been found? Silver fir and birch. Okay, remember these names. A major characteristics of the coniferous forest, where the height is 1500 to 3000 meter. What happens? The trees have conical shape. The shape of the trees is a conical shape. Their branches lean towards the surface of the trees. Surface of that, the snow would easily slide down towards the land. You get to see this type of pictures in the movies and all. You see how the leaves have been falling down, branches have been leaning down. Trees' leaves are long, pointed and sticky, which can conserve humidity for longer time. You have seen in the movies and all, which can conserve humidity for a longer time. So that's about the which forest, students? About the temperate forest or the grasslands. Now come to the next point, tidal forest or the mangroves. And this is the last point of our answer. Tidal forest distribution. How they have been distributed, students? Tidal forests are located in the delta regions of rivers along the coast. These forests are found along, underline, students, Gujarat coast and the marshy lands along the Bay of Bengal coast. And the trees grow over here are Sundari and Cher. Now, look here, the tidal forests are located in the delta region. Underline that, the delta region, which is also tidal forest. Another name for this forest is mangroves. And delta region of the rivers along the coast, you will get to see so many trees so close. And these forests are found along the Gujarat coast and in the marshy land along the Bay of Bengal coast. And which trees are they? They are Sundari and Cher. So students, this was the 4 marks question where we saw the 5 points. Okay. Now, so have a look at this. Students, have a look at this. Okay. I am going to stop a class over here. Learn all these questions of 4 marks. Today we saw 4 marks 2 questions about the diversity in vegetation and the types of forest. We saw 5 types of forest. Into that, either 2 marks question or of 3 marks or of 4 marks, all the types of forest we'll have to write. So I am stopping over here. Have a good day.